What's up, everybody? My name is Sean.
I'm Steven.
We got a special guest today,
Max.
Thanks
Welcome
for coming
to
through,
Desk
man.
Thanks for inviting me, you guys.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How about you guys?
We're doing good.
So I want to get into what we were just talking about, man. Because it was really juicy conversation that I think would be worthy of putting. I think you would agree, right?
Yeah.
So what were you guys talking about?
Just some, hot takes into school, and then what you did on Monday. I've only heard about what you did on Monday, but...
Oh, I burned a house. No, it was very mild things, really, in my opinion, but
yeah,
wasn't taken as such.
Well, what happened? Explain what happened on Monday. What were you doing?
What was it called? So I went to
studio culture, right?
Studio culture, yeah. So there was a studio culture. What would you call it, like discussion?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the department, and I came with some very clear goals that were outlined not by me but by the newly founded NOMOS organization at UO, which is just very small. But we had two things, yeah. Accountability. First of all, this meeting was about some document.
Yeah. Some
manifesto for architecture, right? So it's like the document says stuff like, oh, at Oregon we want inclusivity and diversity and this and that, and there's no reason, like, how do we keep them accountable, right? So first time accountability, how do students hold you all accountable for what you say you plan to do? And then the second thing I said is like safety / comfortability within power dynamics, and like how do we say stuff / critique without putting ourselves under fire or fearing we might put ourselves under fire, right? And I got piled on for that last one.
Yeah, it's okay, man.
It happened.
I was telling him about it, and he said that if he was there, he probably would have done the same as you.
Yeah.
Because Sean's like that. He voices his opinions.
I mean, what happened is, like, we were, like, maybe 15, 20 minutes into this meeting, bumbling over...
Yeah,
does this mean to say? Yeah, okay.
It's okay, we'll edit it.
Yeah, okay. So, he's, like, bumbling over, like examples from other colleges of, like, this manifesto. No one can read. He doesn't know what to say about it. He's just scrolling through, like, countless different colleges and, like, typing them up mid-lecture, like, can you be a little more prepared, you know? Mm-hmm. In, like, 15, 20 minutes, and I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. No fucking talking. Like, if literally he just shut up, I'm sure someone would have said something. Yeah. So then I decided I'm going to pipe up because, yeah, I had the energy to at the time, right?
Yeah, it was needed.
Yeah.
Did you notice that one of the students that was there, like, took the message out of context and tried to play it that way until the main individual holding the meeting said, I never took it like that. I'm like, he was listening to your message.
Yes, my words were said. Yeah, he went, I disagree with you. And then he said my words in the most fluffy, exorbitant language you've ever heard, you know?
Yeah.
Said the same thing in a weird-ass context about, like, oh, I just don't feel fear. I don't know. I don't remember what he was saying. And then the person in question, my bad. It's okay.
It's all right. That's what editing's for.
It's all right.
I'm gonna have that target on my back. Yeah, no. But then that was interesting because the whole meeting, that wasn't the pattern, you know, and it was like, it was slightly reassuring, but also just like.
Do you remember what you said?
I think I said something along the lines of what's the word? Anonymity, right? Like anonymity is a tool for getting students to participate. And then I was told, like, wait, we don't want anonymity because, like, people should be comfortable enough as is to speak. And I'm like, that's an ideal world. We're not in that world right now. You can't have that conversation, right? So give people a chance, you know? And then that got disagreed with, restated, and then do you know what he was talking about?
No, it kind of kept going in a circle, honestly.
Seriously. And interrupts him and is like, I don't take it that way. And that was novel. I mean,
yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Because the other person was trying to start a little, like, make you look like you were coming in evil or.
Yeah, and you know, that person, like, I've talked to that person. He was a TA for me in a previous studio, and like I've gotten a lot of crits from him. He was pretty good at crits. Like, I'll ask him for it. He's actually extremely good at that kind of thing. But he is also an explainer. You know, he'll just keep talking, and it's like that's sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing. But he's also a white guy, you know, and it's
yeah.
Like, I mean, look, like, if you were to look from the outside of this room, I think he'd realize. Like, if he like took a step outside, like, Ebenezer Scrooge style, you know,
Yeah,
ghost out of
yeah.
body and watched himself, you'd be like,
Yeah.
just dude, like, I know I'm younger than you. I know you're like a mentor or whatever to me, but maybe
Take a step back.
give some respect, you know, like
I
respect
think
is two ways.
Yeah, I think you bring a lot of valuable insight, especially you coming in the second year. Like you're very intellectual, man. You know a lot about a lot of things, and I think that makes you a strong student. and it I can see how a student would be intimidated by you because you're not afraid and you're gonna stand your ground even if they come because you've done your homework. And on top of
That's
that,
the thing, right? Organize. Yeah.
and on top of that, you don't look like any of them.
I don't look like anyone, yo.
Yeah. Like you're not. So that's what I'm saying is that you're a super strong student, like what you're here for, and them they're not used to that because they get uncomfortable. Even the professors get uncomfortable when you ask them a real question because they've never dealt with these types of realities.
Yeah.
So second year?
Huh?
Second year?
Yeah,
I think
that's you should have an introduction. Like,
No. I think that's when I started questioning everything too.
Dude, no, I mean, like, you get it's your first year and he tells you all this, like, stuff, and you just, you know, like worship the masters kind of thing, right? And
nah.
Wait, is he always first year?
yeah, he's that first term, fall term.
First year.
That's his class.
First year power dynamic. I think it was fine, chill. I think second year was like, hell no, I'm gonna say something now.
Well, it's like you also see it you get some perspective, right? Like when you come into school, you have no clue. Like no one knows what architecture is. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
like,
no one knows.
When you come into school, you're like, oh, I like to draw and I like to do math. You know, I'll be good at this.
Yeah.
You know, I like to build around, like walk around cities and look at
Yeah.
buildings, and you know, and it's like. You go into it, and it's literally whatever they tell you is what you're gonna think, and yeah, and it's like that's what we're hit with first. You know, it's not like how do we build communities or like who are the people who we forget about. It's nothing that's like a genuine issue. You know, it's just fluff, and it's fun to listen to.
That's what we talk about.
Like he's a really good speaker. You know, like I ate that up in my freshman year, and now it's like,
yeah, he is.
Now you're like,
John.
What?
He is.
What?
The first year?
Yeah. He's a really good speaker, but I mean, one thing you realize as he keeps talking is he never criticizes.
Yeah.
Not his work, not the work that he's showing.
You're
he
right.
Never does that. Yeah. And it's like, this is the thing, right? This is such like an ego case. It's a worship of the masters, right? It's like, I mean, I'm stealing this idea from someone. This is not my original thought, but it's like, we're taught, like, Frank Lloyd Wright, like, what's his name? Louis Kahn? Yeah, like, this guy, like, these guys are the people, they're, like, they've done it perfectly, and everything about this building, oh my god, it's a new world, you know, it's, like, all this stuff. And I don't think that's learning, you know, it's not...
I'm so bad. I'm more of a outdated, time for the new ideas to come in.
Yeah.
No, and that's good, because it's, like, we don't even criticize the old ideas. Well, they might go, oh, he was a questionable character. And leave it at that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't give me a and then tell me, oh, his views were questionable. Like, I mean, that happens in this curriculum. So
they're so outdated, no?
Yeah, why aren't you criticizing it? Like, if you have to absolutely.
Yeah, Sean.
Like, tell me what's wrong. That's how we learn, right?
Yeah, they're very outdated, man. Like, I can't.
That's what I was telling him. I think that's why we went down, because it's like we have too many old info now. Like, we're in a new world where like everything's just evolving like this quick.
Yeah.
One of my classes, oh my god, 2 people who just believe in that old stuff. You know, they live it, and I'm not dropping names, right?
Yeah.
But if I say anything, it'll reveal. But
I wish you the best next 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of that, right? Like, you guys talk about, oh, Max, you got the target on your back now, right? Like,
yeah.
What has the target on your back been like? What's that like?
Not much. And I mean, not much anymore, because after the incident that I had to go through, I was like, I'm just gonna lay low and just.
Yeah. So what's that incident?
So,
though?
like,
That's the scary thing for me, at least.
I was in the studio. I was just questioning a lot, like, why this, why that. This doesn't make sense. Why are we keep doing this? We're in like finals week. Like, let us do our thing. Like, this is pointless now.
Mm-hmm.
And then person just could not answer some of the questions, and then I got like hit with a marginal pass, like a mid review like session, and I'm like, what? Why am I getting this? Like I have the working ability, but I'm just getting it.
Been putting in the hours and stuff, yeah.
But like in the
No,
end,
I've seen that.
But in the end, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna do great anyway, so like just don't worry about it." I'm like, well, what's the point of giving it to me then? Like actually, like
it's just soft power, right? It just
so
they're
that
actually they're too afraid to do anything for
from
real.
that point on, I'm like, I'm just gonna pick my battles where I can like win for sure now because I'm like, this is dumb.
No, and I mean we're all lucky too because at least we're men, you know, and like I've got some height to me. I'm a man. I'm loud. You're all loud and men too, right? Like at least we get like. At least the conversation happens when we bring it up. A lot of the time, like there's more vulnerable communities. If they try to bring this up, they get absolutely like so much condescension, dumpstering onto each other, you know. And it's like I'm seeing that now in one of the classes, and I don't think the professor realizes what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is like I would quit if I were this person. And this is like one of the most dynamic, like the most hardworking persons ever.
Yeah.
And they got threatened with like, you might not pass this studio. And this guy just keeps editing their design. They have to spend hours redoing it, and they look like they're at the same place, but they've done 5 times the work of everyone else in that studio. And it's just because they keep questioning, and they're one of those identities, you know, that's like,
that's what I was gonna ask. Why do you think they do that?
What do you think they do? No,
I don't know. Why do you think they do that?
I mean, it's a threatening thing, and it's also like you just have this belief in your mind that this person is the kind of person that like whines about these things. They aren't to be taken seriously, you know, and that's when it happens, and you just become like, you think you're helping them, but you're really just.
I don't know. For me, like when I was like asking those questions, I was like genuinely curious. Like, why are we doing it? Like, at least give me something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just don't like this, and like they answer some of them. I'm like,
they go,
okay.
talk to the studio head.
But I'm like, that doesn't really make like this doesn't make sense. Like, why are you following through too? Like, this doesn't make sense.
No,
too.
I've been running into that. I think this spring term studio for second years is.
I mean, it's changing.
I mean,
no,
what
it's
happens
like that.
is first year, second year, they really try to weave people out. Even if you're like,
oh yeah,
I don't know if this is a rumor or not, but there is a number they're supposed to weave out.
Oh, I can tell. In my fall term this year, I think every single studio dropped at least 2 people. And like sometimes it's like these are people who are not putting in work, and it's like it's probably like good for them to go try something else because this is obviously not fun for them.
Yeah.
First years is people are the ones that just don't put in the work. Second years are the ones where people do put the work, but they just slap the freaking marginal pass because they have to get the
fail
quotas for that.
You know what I mean? They talk about we used to like cut people, right? Like they always talk about that when you apply here. Like, we used to cut people, but Oregon was like one of the first universities to move away from that and do pass no pass, and it's like,
what was he?
How'd you get your numbers to work there? Like we know they work, so like, you know.
What was he saying about that, Max? I don't remember. It was something that the University of Oregon started that style of desk crits. Do you remember?
Yeah. I was talking about that, right?
Yeah, what was it? Do you remember exactly?
It's the whole like it's like the non-competition thing. Like it used to be like you would literally compete against your teammate, your studio mates, and like wreck their model and stuff. And that's Beaux Arts, you know, like that's the system. That's Bauhaus too, you know. It's like all these old education systems. It was survival of the fittest and like how you lock your models away and like.
I did that my first year.
Yeah, did you? Was your studio hostile like that or?
Dude, my class, I don't even give a shit. My class, they're all competitive for no goddamn reason.
Ours is I think we're competitive, but I don't think anyone would ever.
Like competitive in a fake way, like, oh that looks good, but they're like, no, that's absolutely.
But you know what?
Doggy water.
I like that part, like that kind of. Yeah.
Or no, they're like, oh, it's good, but then in their mind, they're like, no, that's doggy water. How are you making it this far?
Damn.
Just there's so much condescension, you know. I find myself doing it too, and it's like, I mean, you know, it's like we're trained to, you know, and it's like.
I know you are because you're
Yeah.
put right into a competitive mindset. Like, oh, you gotta be the best now.
And it's like we don't have it's pass no pass. You know, like you don't have to do the work technically, but we all do it. It's the culture,
crazy.
right? You know,
That's crazy.
But,
Yeah, that was new to me too. Coming into Pass No Pass Studios.
Really? I mean,
Yeah.
I never knew it.
so what did you do before?
Landscape architecture.
Oh, and that was
Yeah.
not pass no
No,
pass.
that was a letter grade.
That burning models. Oh, letter grade though.
But
Yeah.
but they were really like make you cry reviewers.
Yeah.
They were very rude, very like no reason to be mean, but for some reason like it felt like it made people come to school because it mattered.
Ah, I see.
You know, it wasn't just like I'm just going to get attendance. They were coming because they actually wanted to improve their design. Because they didn't like that crit.
Yeah, you know what? I have opinions on that idea because I think you're right. I think you're right about that, but I also think it's deeper than that. You know, like yeah, you're getting people to like maybe put in genuine effort, and you see people like go you know, it's like you're not learning if you're bullshitting, right? But like when you're in that environment and you're going for that thing, it's like there's weeks where you can manage it, you know, and you can do it. But what are you losing on those weeks you can't? You get sick. Your dog dies. I don't know, like something happens or something falls through and you gotta like work really hard on something. Like, what are you losing from that? You know, like at least when pass no pass, you can be okay. I'll put studio to the side and do this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, how many people who are genuinely passionate and who would be great architects are you losing through that? Because they can't handle it when something happens wrong. You know, and it's like, yeah, it's also inhumane. You know what, like
it is
on the like logical like X's and O's shit. It's I think you're genuinely losing people who can handle it, but just got unlucky. You know, or will be great in the field, but this great dumb or they talk too much, right? And get silenced or yeah.
But you know, honestly, like the psychological effect for me when I came in and I found out it was pass no pass, I just went down.
Really? I mean, maybe because we started in it. I don't know. It's like I guess I have been going down.
Yeah, like my stress levels are down because of that. Because
that's good though, right?
Yeah, it's good. It's really good, but at the same time, like, it's less engagement, I guess. It's less engaging. Because students don't put in the effort. They're just like, I don't have to get a desk crit.
Mm-hmm.
And
that one's weird to me. I don't understand that. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I think especially my people. Yeah, like we came from COVID, you know, in a high school sense.
Yeah.
And like this wasn't senior year, which you could throw away. It's our junior year. We're supposed to be applying to colleges, and it's like we don't function without structure. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's common trend. Like there's studies on this, and it's like you gotta if you structured the studio, make it consistent, have understandable expectations. People will get better at it. You know, they learn to advocate for themselves. I think at least, but like otherwise, people will just slack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you Oregonian?
No, I'm Californian.
Okay, so
Bay Area.
Because that makes perfect sense. Would you say the school's soft?
Yeah. Maybe not in like I mean like oh my god, I've never taken easier non-studio classes, you know, like physics is a joke. My AP physics class probably I don't know, that thing was brutal. You know, it was brutal. It was so much harder than the AP test was. It was all this we were cramming every day. Our homework was like between 5 and 10 problems, but if it was 5, you know those were the worst kinds of problems, you know? and like you also had multivariable calculus and everyone's competing.
I know.
And, you know, oh
less
my God.
problems you see, you're like, yep, it's doomed.
An hour each question, an hour plus.
Have you guys heard of Gun High School?
No, where is that?
So it's on the peninsula in Bay Area. It is like the top ranked, at least public school in California, and it has like an average of like 3 suicides a year.
3 what?
Like 3 suicides a year. I'm pulling it out, but there's like a suicide at least every year.
At least one.
And parents compete to get their kids in that school.
So that goes back to what you were saying earlier, right? What it creates.
Yeah. And it's like, why is that what success is? You know?
Right.
Like, what are you finding success in really? Is it in studio or is it in the other things you're doing? Like this podcast, do you feel more fulfillment in this or in the project you're making for studio?
This.
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 Right? Every time, yeah. And it's like, studio is manageable, but studio and is not manageable. You know, studio asks for all your time, and it's like, you can do that. You can hang out in studio, make friends there, you can bring your food, you can sleep there. I don't know, I haven't done that, but...
Max, you're going to hate this part, okay?
Yeah?
Because you just said that. We're in terminals together.
Yeah.
And they've been working us so bad. And then to just tell us in the end, guys, I just want you to know, none of this is going to be posted in your final board. Like, you don't have to know this. You don't have to put this.
Oh, tell me about it.
But we have to do mechanical systems, like the AC and connect it.
I have my own schedule, by the way.
Yeah.
I had to make a new schedule. Like, there's the studio schedule, and I'm on a different, like, contract.
Oh, interesting. How does that work? Like literally like a contract?
It's
just you doing your thing?
He made it, yeah.
But it's like, now the pressure's on because, like, if I don't follow through my own contract, I'm going to get that stamp.
Yeah, because he made the contract.
But the contract
you literally like gave the...
Not like an actual, like, contract. It's more of like a scheduling contract, like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'll be doing this, I'll put this. And
it's,
like,
I see.
Really, like, filled out. But, like, it's structured in a way where it's very efficient.
Uh-huh.
It's not, like, going everywhere. So I'm like, I can work with this because it's going the way it's going to go. But, like, the other one is just going everywhere. I'm like, I just can't.
No, I know what you're talking about, though. Like, this studio has been just that, I feel like. After midterm, I didn't get a chance to work on my, like, program or anything. They threw us into armature, and I went, why are we doing, like, structures in armature right now when my floor plan's, like, gonna change drastically? And they go, well, you need the armature. I was like, yeah, you need the armature to, like, figure it out. But the plan matters a little more. Like, if I move this building over here, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, we made this whole model at 1/8 inch scale. All this stuff at 1/8 inch scale, and, like, we're gonna do everything in 16th inch now. You don't have to bring that to final. Oh, it's like, I know people spend like 16 hours, 17 hours in this model. First of all, I don't know why they spent 17 hours on that model. It's made of cardboard. Like, shouldn't take that long, but that's maybe the elitist in me, you know? Yeah. But, oh my God. Like, up till 4 a.m. for shit all, you know?
Yeah.
What did I learn from this? Nothing. I got down in Rhino in 20 minutes.
Yeah, so if when you came into the architecture school, you came in very... excited, very...
Yeah.
When did it change? What year? What term?
Dude, like this, I mean, you feel it, like, in fall term. In winter term, you see it. You know, you also see it in fall term. And it's like... I'm not gonna... Like,
at this point, just drop the name.
Yeah.
Maybe we're just gonna edit it.
My bad. No, this is my effort for you.
Okay.
But, yeah, no, like this, you talk to these people and you see these things and you justify it, you know, you go through and you're like, oh, well, you know, he's old, oh, you know, like, she's so nice, you know, and like, she's from another country, she doesn't get it, you know, and it's like, all this stuff, and you justify, and you're like, well, I guess there might be some substance to this reading, and then you keep doing it, and you're like, we've been having this conversation for, like, months now, right? Have you learned anything from those things we say where we justify? No. You know, you don't learn apolitical formalism, you know? And it's like...
Yeah.
You start to, like, question, like... I think once you stop doing studio in winter term, as the second year, like, you have a break.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, oh my God, I don't want to do any of this. Like, in studio, you're in such a role that you just keep going. And in winter studio,
go mode.
You just stop and you're like, man, I can't even get myself to do 20 minutes of work, much less 5 hours. You know, like... Oh my God, I was so bad at winter's year, you know, and then you go from that, and it's like, for me, I sort of got roped into Nomos because I know a lot of people there, and I didn't really mean to. I'm not gonna lie, I was sort of like, I'm usually wary of these spaces. I don't know. Usually they can be pretty toxic, you know.
Yeah.
I don't go to like soccer or anything. I don't go to leftist things. I don't. I don't know. Yeah. So I was wary of this, and I get in this, and you get organized a little bit. You know, these discussions genuinely. You get like people like these people who like.
Oh, they're there.
We actually come last term.
Oh, nice.
She's coming. You should come on Friday. Okay, I'll talk about it. Yeah. That's for outside of the pod, but yeah. That's, but anyways, like these people, they break down your frustrations, and they're like, "Yo, this isn't fake. You know, this isn't just the thing you need to do to get the grade." Because in high school we do stupid classes we don't about to get the grade. And we're trained to do that, and we go to college and we take that mentality with us, you know? And it's like, yeah, and then I don't know, I've been taking, like, I decided, okay, I'm going to commit myself, I'm going to take these people's classes. I'm going to take both Spatial Justice Fellows classes. And my schedule because of it. But it's been more valuable than anything else, by far. Like, just hearing this stuff, learning this stuff, seeing the people who know about this stuff, seeing that other people care, you know, and hearing it in different ways, too. Like, we were talking about someone's, like, doom and gloom, and one's, like, does it with a smile and stuff. It's like, you know, both are valuable, though.
You remember
at least for listening.
That,
yeah. Oh, I've been using that, bro. I've been using that over and over again. Yeah,
that's cool. I'm glad that you were able to get something out of that.
No, yeah. I mean, and you can see someone who's older doing it. Or I met like people like you know. I met you at that class.
I
and
know.
It's like,
Papa,
and you tell me shit, you know. Like, I'm like, hey, this guy is like questionable. Like, is he actually questionable? And you're like, yes, no, you know. And it's like, that takes forever to find out. Normally, you know, that I don't know how long it took you to figure out a read on any professors.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and you're only here for 3. Ugh, yeah.
You know, because that's what it feels like. You know.
Really, yeah.
So my heroes let me down, so to speak.
That's
where I'm at in my third year, feeling that.
No, totally.
My heroes let me down.
But it's also like, it's so easy to go the other way and be like fully that way, you know, and be like, oh, like, this person's cool about this, but oh my god, they're bad about this thing, so I'm gonna show them out. Okay, and this one too. Okay, this one's problematic too. I don't want to listen to this guy. He's do this, you know. And it's like, who do you have?
Yeah.
You know, and it's really hard to like take someone and then get the positives out of them only.
Yeah.
But it's like no one's good at anything, you know. Right, like everyone's bad. Yeah. It's really, I think especially when we're young, like I keep finding myself going like, man, I like. This guy's flawed, I shouldn't talk about him. Oh, this guy's flawed, I shouldn't talk about him. Like, this guy, and it's like, I'm flawed, you know?
All flawed, yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard. It's really easy to, like, get trapped in it. I'm always trapped in it, you know?
Yeah.
Just hyper-fixating on the flaws when it's like, maybe there's some objectivity to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah.
But it's also, like, I get a hint now, you know?
Because that's what your question was, right? Like, who's real? Who can I talk to?
Literally.
Yeah.
Like, because, like, look at what's happening on the green, right? The encampment and stuff.
Yeah.
I have no clue who I can talk to about that. And that's with everything, right? I brought it up in studio because there was a walkout. I come over to the table with some friend I know I knew would believe in the cause, and I talk to them, and I'm like, yo, like, even if you don't, like, even if you think whatever you think, like, this is just for freedom of speech, you know, like, like, you should walk out. And I get a glare from one person next to her, and then she's like, and I'm like, oh god, I'm leaving. You know, and it's like, yeah, it's too hard to have this conversation every time, you know, so it's just easier to know immediately, you know.
Yeah. So are you glad you got your answers? Because you got them pretty quick.
Yeah.
It didn't take that long.
Did I tell you about the op list I got?
No.
One person I was talking to gave me a list of all the ops. I think you probably know who I'm talking about. Yeah. But yeah. He was like, oh, this guy. You can't talk to this guy. Oh, this person. Yeah. Oh, and then just listing off names. And it's like,
they have to know, right? Like, they have to know, like, I'm not sincere. The students are going to catch it.
I couldn't tell you. I think some of them are sincere. Some of them are just that bad, you know?
Yeah.
Some of them are fully in their own worlds and so much ego, you know?
So do you feel that the core surveys work?
No.
Yeah, me too.
That's why no one does them, you know? And it's like, yeah, technically they do some in the background and decide if someone gets a position raise or whatever, but it's like, it's so indirect. There's no immediate accountability. It's for the next generation. It's hard for the average person to. It's hard for the average person to commit time and energy to something that doesn't affect them, especially when they could be eating food, you know, or like sleeping more, you know, or like spending this time to like formulate your thoughts and do this. Honestly, it's not worth it because you're not getting anything.
They're good or they're bad, or if I actually have the time, I'm like, okay.
I mean, yeah, like I don't fill them out if I don't have strong feelings, and even then I forget to when I do.
That too, they're just so like randomly placed out of the blue or at the busiest time, and you're like, dude, I have better things to do right now.
No, it's so true. It literally is exactly that.
Even if it's like 5-10 minutes, it's like I need those 5-10 minutes.
But I mean, the thing is, whenever we come up with these complaints individually, right? We go up to someone's office and we're like, "Hey, look at this," and they go, "Yeah, yeah," and you hear this, right? They can just be like, oh, "Man, they're right, but I don't got time to fix their problem. I know they'll keep coming maybe, but I can deal with that, right?" But when you get organized action, you can really make noise, and it's like individual action just doesn't create much. So like I'm wary about this nomos thing, but I have a lot of hope for it as a way to at least the very least gather thoughts when we go to these discussions, have people who are in your corner who can pipe up, because I mean I think you saw it, right? Like people, like a lot of GEs in particular piled on to me when I talked during that thing. I thought it was funny. For the record, I was like, wow, this is exactly what I just talked about. Like when reason people don't like power dynamics, right? When people don't talk about class, it's because they're afraid of certain things, right? Like this, like being piled on to. So I actually told the person who started it after about that, and then they emailed me, which was also a reason why students won't talk up, right?
Yeah. And then they gave you an indicator of what kind of person they were by one of the questions asked. Right?
Oh, totally, yeah. Yeah, we were reading it.
It solidified what you already knew. And
exactly.
What you said.
and honestly, like, again, mentorship comes in there. I didn't know how to respond to that at all. So I talked to people like you. I talked to people like, I mean, I'm not going to name names, right? I talked to other people in the corner. But I talked to these people, and it's like, I don't know, that's something that you it takes a long time to figure out how to do that, but it's not hard once you know, right?
Yeah. I spoke to a professor, and I told them about, I want to, talk to the person who can do something about this, who's in the program, and maybe they can do something. And then the professor I was telling this was like, sure. I mean, if you want to be heard, then that's all that's going to happen, but don't expect anything to happen. If you're just trying to be heard, then go ahead. Mm-hmm. And as they were doing that, when that discussion on Monday, I was looking at him like, I'm going to see if this is true about you now. Now I get to be I heard what they said about you, but I still want to make the judgment for myself.
Oh, I've heard
and I hope you prove me wrong, right? Because we're going to do something about it, Max. And now we're going to find out. We're going to find out, right?
I mean, did you notice... okay, hold on. When you go to, like, we were talking, like, the conversation was talking about, hey, we need accountability, and I think that was the one thing everyone agreed upon, right? We need ways to enforce accountability. And then the conversation would always be pivoted back to the stupid-ass document, when I think everyone had come to the conclusion that we don't really care about this document at all. And it felt like there was an ask.
That's what he said.
No one does.
Nobody reads it. You said, let's be real.
No one that.
And what's it doing? Like who's it stopping from doing whatever the they want?
That's me. I just do whatever at this point.
No, I mean like professors though, like diversity, equity, inclusion, blah 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 blah, and then
this is all on the papers.
That's what you were saying.
Like how do I get reading out of the curriculum?
Yeah.
Like, how do I say, hey, look, this is not diversity, equity, inclusion. This is disclusion. This is inequity. And then how do I get that into who's making sure that happens? No one. And we all say this, and I felt like the conversation kept being reframed around this stupid document, and it's like everyone sort of kind of had this is the one thing I think we all agreed on, is everyone had an air of like, we don't want to talk about that at all.
Yeah.
No one's interested in that. It's like. Yeah.
It was tough.
I just hope that discussion happens more.
I'm sad I missed out now.
It's going to happen again, remember?
I hope so, but next week?
And T said 2 weeks from now. So 2 weeks, another week.
You better make it happen. You better
rally? No.
No, but I mean, literally, collective action is terrifying to them. And they've never seen it. This department has never seen it. Look at the admin right now. They said, oh, we'll kick you out on what's it, what date? Month is this?
May.
Yeah, on May 7th, they'll be like, we'll kick you out at 12 p.m. What happened? Nothing. What are you going to do? Kick out 1,000+ students, and it's the same. Like, the architecture school is this big, and you get 20 people, all in agreement, all nodding heads when someone speaks. First of all, how do you talk to that? How do you say no to that, in the moment? And then second of all, are you worried about your job now?
Yeah.
Like,
Like that.
What?
That's true.
And also now you have a bunch of people with a common base knowledge who can change the culture regardless of professors or people who are permanent, right? If everyone agree, like if you got a student body who understands the issues and aren't are less brainwashed by this stuff, and it is brainwashing, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, then you've got a new culture, which is not the same as theirs. And now they cannot teach the way they used to. It'll cause them strife.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it's everything. Organization is everything in all forms of activism, but...
How do you balance your sanity with all of this? Like, do you still feel a love for the architecture?
I mean, I think it's dangerous to not, you know. It's so easy to be jaded, and I fear being jaded, you know. I fear giving up on the cause and stuff, and it's like, that's how we got here in the first place in our world, right? And everything, right? People are just like, it'll fix itself in 100 years. We don't have 100 years, right? And at the very least, this is good practice for that, you know?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, I fear that, but it's also like, you can tunnel vision about it, but you can also do the opposite, right? You can really lift yourself up. Hey, look, I went to this meeting, one person, I said something as a second year, and that was enough to create buzz, apparently. You know, they freaked out over that. I had no clue what to say. Isn't that's power?
They were saved by the bell.
Literally, right? I mean,
it was time.
Honestly,
remember?
I don't think that conversation was going anywhere.
Yeah.
But it would have just kept going like that for hours if it kept going. But
it was just crazy that it worked in his favor, right? Well, it does end in 2 minutes. So we never got the answer. We had to leave.
Literally. I mean, I can tell you some things we're doing. Like after that meeting, we were kind of appalled, and then we even had condescension from people who were like saying they were like agreeing with us after, and we're like, oh, you're fighting the good fight, but it gets harder from here.
Yeah.
Are you fighting it? I don't think you're fighting it. Like, you know, we all know this. Like, you think people who are doing this are just like we haven't done this before, you know? Like,
right.
To organize, you have to understand that organizing is important, which means you probably organized before. Whatever, that's a tangent, but yeah, I don't know. It comes down to that, right? Like we're literally making you know what like zines are?
No.
They're like you can like take a piece of paper, fold it into like 8 panels, and then cut the middle, and then you fold it into a book. Maybe you did that in kindergarten or something.
What is it called?
It's called a zine.
That's
like
what they're called?
Like a magazine, but like just like a little like
I know what
so
you're
this is a
talking
mini
about.
zine.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and they're handing them out
in
in 13th right now, right? Like by the encampment, there's also the voting people. They're handing out those pamphlets, right? The mini zines, yeah. And a full zine is like this big, and it's a thing from back in like the 1920s when I think I'm totally pulling this out of my ass, but like, for getting the right to vote for like women and stuff. Like this was this was a way you got information out, taught people why they need this kind of thing, right? So it's like a very transmissible thing. So we're gonna make a bunch. And who knows how good they'll be, but we'll bring them to the meeting. So when I talk about power dynamics and they go this, I'll be like, here, read this, then talk to me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, even if they don't read it, they're not going to say anything. Because, you know, like they weren't prepared for that. They're not bringing me a pamphlet on why students should speak up for themselves, you know, like.
Yeah. What made you choose architecture?
What made me choose architecture? Math and science, and math and art, you know, like, I liked walking through cities, you know, and I guess my mom and my grandfather, that side, the white side, they're all engineers, mechanical engineers, and, like, they kind of pride themselves on that, and my mom's actually not a mechanical engineer anymore because she hates it, and I think I figured that out, why, and I was fully off that track pretty quickly when I was younger, like in high school. I mean, I went to like robotics club once and was like, this is what you do? You adjust one thing over and over and over and over again? Like, that's hell. And what are you doing for society, you know? And for the record, architecture, what are you doing for society is a question for it too. But I think there's something to be said for like local government, like localized change, making a difference in one place, you know, and you can see it and it's tangible. I think I was after that partially too, but I mean in the end it's like you're at a high school, you have no clue what you want to do, because no one tells any like a high schooler what it's like for real. You know, I'm told, oh, architecture is really hard. I honestly don't think this major is hard. I think it's a lot. You know, Like,
it's just time consuming.
Yeah, like it's not like some people don't have the mental ability to do this or something. You know, it's like
time is the problem.
Time is the problem. Yeah, and like how much willpower do you have? That's the thing, and it's like that wasn't how it was presented to me. I came here anyways, but like, like I don't know. I don't think I have a great reason for coming to architecture, but I'm glad I did. Actually, I'm really glad I did.
Yeah, that's good.
I think I met smart and amazing people, but yeah.
What keeps you going? Like, what do you have a memorable piece of advice from a mentor or professor? Is there anything like after hearing all of this, what keeps you going? How do you stay positive?
I mean, I've been in leftist spaces before where there's a lot of this like trying to have change, and I've seen people get jaded, and I've been frustrated by people being the jaded one, and I've seen my parents and older and like teachers and stuff be totally like, just wait for the revolution, you know, and it's like, in the meantime, let's make some hope, you know. Actually, the weirdest person said that to me. You never expect. I don't think that they would agree with many of my beliefs, but
yeah,
they said this to me. They went, a lot of people like young people. I see them go into the field and their spirit gets crushed by the work industry.
That's me.
Yeah, I mean, and it sucks, right? Like it's hard to do anything now, right?
I don't want to do architecture anymore.
Yeah, quit, bro.
Well, he's going to grad school for product design.
Okay, awesome.
That's what he's always wanted to be.
All the projects that I showed for my portfolio, I followed my own path doing those projects.
Awesome.
Didn't follow any of the rules. Got me in.
Hey, where are you going?
To France, Nice.
Whoa, that's sick, dude.
Yeah,
excited?
Oh yeah, it's like full sustainable, like all the way from like shipping, how do you make it, business proposal, like all the way sustainable.
Why can't we have that here?
Yeah, right.
That's
But I mean, okay, there's two things, right? There's this whole like the revolution. You might have to wait for the revolution anyways, but in the meantime, let's have some like. You have to give people something to fight for, you know. You have to prove it to them that it's worth fighting.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's also that, right? It's like yeah, it's nice over there. The grass is green, right? It's so nice over there, but over here, like there's monochrist success. There's like getting money and all this and stuff, but there's also like doing good for society or whatever, right? And I don't know. I sort of see it as a duty. And it's like if this is a place where I can do good, it's hard to find a place.
Yeah.
You know, where you know you can do something there, or you know it needs something and you know what it needs. Like in the end, this curriculum isn't extremely complicated. Yeah, it's ingrained, but like you get rid of all the old guys, you know.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we can do other things. But like, you find that place that needs your help. Maybe that's the place you should be. You know.
Do you agree that maybe this class that we're taking, 3 p.m. building community, you think it should be a requirement in the?
Oh, yeah, I think professors should be taking these classes. And you know, I mean, this class it talked about like.
Yeah.
One of the things that was said once, I don't know if you were there for this one, but the professor said, everyone should take a humanities class, like ethnic studies, right? Like, please take an ethnic studies before you leave college. And I was like, oh yeah, that's true. And I was like, wait, everyone, why aren't professors taking the classes we're taking? You know, like only like 3 professors maybe go to the guest lectures even. Like professors aren't learning anything; they're behind. And then even then, it's like you talk about like, oh, we'll have a workshop where we talk about DEI and stuff. And I think that's entirely useless because it's a couple hours and you're done. But a class, you get to know the teacher, you get to know the students, you get to you hear things, you have to read something, you have to test on it, you have to prove you understand it. Why isn't that how we're doing this? Especially in a college where we have the opportunity to. Like, why isn't like I can't name drop. Why aren't some like the ops like going to like why aren't they required to take an ethnic studies class if they're getting complaints about being racist and stuff, right? Like
that's true.
Make them take an ethnic studies class, and if they don't want to, they go home. You know, like they're gone. They're old anyways.
Yeah,
dude,
you know,
that's so funny the way you just say that because I tell them that exact same.
Yeah, and it's like why? I mean, we have the resources too. It's not like college is only for 20-year-olds. You know.
If they're clearly here. Right.
right? Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand because like why they're here, you know, because it's like you're retired, you can sit ass and just wither, or you can be involved or whatever, but stop putting your fingers in the mud, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your place anymore. You're not even like. Yeah, you can look at stuff. You can come to the guest lectures, but that should be it. You can observe. That's fine. You're not.
So you're done with them. You're done with them. But it's.
Are you?
Yeah. But that's why I was like, hey, careful. You have 3 more years. You know.
No, I mean I'm glad I know some things now.
Are you accelerating or?
Oh no, I won't.
No,
I'm lucky. I'm lucky enough to not have to, and I don't think it's healthy.
Yeah.
No,
I've seen people lose
brutal.
hair over that, you know.
He's doing it. He's
Yeah,
one of those.
Well, yeah, because
Well, you got a place to go now,
yeah.
so you.
I still gotta make it through my terminal though. That's the problem.
Can you be failed out of that?
Oh yeah.
Do people get failed out of
Yeah.
terminals?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that could really a lot of things.
Yeah. How often do they get failed? Is it like for good reason or?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I'm kind of in that boat since I had to make my own contract.
Ah, that's
So
scary.
I'm kind of like,
Paving your
I
own
got
path,
into
though.
the dream school, but now I'm like, I gotta get through this.
You gotta stay in the
first.
dream school, right?
Yeah.
So right now I'm just kind of writing.
Hey,
the
but
flow.
that's kind of nice, right? Because you have an objective. It's not mindlessly doing this to get some. You have something to work for, right? So,
I'm
or
turning
dream.
the clock right now, and he knows it too.
Yeah.
I'm just not showing my work. I'm just like, I'll turn up when I need to.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's understandable.
Yeah. So that's what I was gonna get to on the Monday meeting about that class we're taking, and that you guys should take it
Mm-hmm.
because all of these questions you're asking us, the answers are in that class.
And it's done in such. I mean, the whole slowing down thing.
Yeah.
Like you just can't learn that in an
Right.
hour, you know, and like literally, like I mean, what's taught in that class is the concept of like slowing down. Like what capitalism says to speed up, essentially. So to like actually make change, we have to slow down. Which to my young mind, I'm like, I don't wanna, you know, change needs to happen and now and all this. But it's like by learning the value, by being taught slowly the value of slowing down, I've learned to slow down. Isn't that ironic? Like it's such a circle, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. You can't learn that in an hour.
Damn. But yeah, I was hoping it would get to that, but the conversation went somewhere else on the Monday meeting. But it had to be said.
Mm-hmm. I think
it was true.
The best thing that come out of that meeting is more meetings.
Yeah.
You know, but
You saw they just did a club. Like we got an email today because of this thing.
yeah.
They started a club. You might have to look at it later.
What's it
but
called?
remember you said like, what's the point of doing that? Just a check mark. Like, hey, student council, all right.
Yeah.
Now go vent over there while we still do our thing over here.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's gonna become.
They started a student council club.
Yeah, similar.
Huh.
Similar.
I don't. So okay, the way for the record, if you ever listen to this, the way if you're gonna do a student council, the way I think you should do it is instead of having a student council, have an open forum where you can come and or not and sit there for an hour. You know, in the middle of 206, even if no one comes, like, or even better, go to them. You know, like what you should be doing is going to each studio. I mean, that's a lot of time, but going to each studio and listening without their professor there, you know, and
Yeah.
but that's yeah. It's
Even I don't know. Even without them there, some people.
they are you're totally right. I mean, if you could in an
some
ideal
people-
world,
some people won't say anything, even though they know it's like wrong. They're just scared. I mean,
there's also
nothing
people
wrong
who
with that,
believe
but,
it,
like,
you know, and it's like I don't blame them for believing it, because it
It
is
just
a great,
depends
it's
on
a
where we're
brainwash.
coming from. That's why. So.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you're right, but I don't know. I don't think you should have anything with a sign up involved for
No,
engagement.
that just has a target.
That's for certain people. Then you know, that's for the one guy who spoke up. You know, and I know you told him off too. You know, like
Yeah.
so. Yeah, you want to marginalize people. That's how you do it. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Yeah.
then you end up with I can't drop names if I really want to.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
So what are you hoping to do with this degree? Is there like now that maybe you have more experience with the 3 p.m. class, the building community
You know,
stuff?
I don't know.
You don't know anymore?
I know I want to be. I think I'm in a good place now, and I've got time. And I'm not even halfway through. You know, not even 2/5 of the way through, and
It gets harder.
There's a lot that can happen here. And if I can make good things happen here, I think good things will happen.
I will say, there is a change going right now.
You think so? I mean,
yeah. I think there is a change happening right now. Like, it's just, but it's like very slow, like insanely slow. But I do think there's a change. When I was here, hell no, there was no change.
Yeah.
But I think right now, finally, I'm starting to see like a slow, very slow change.
I mean, yeah. And then
it's people, like really slow.
We lose people like, so the turnover rate is horrible, you know. And I've heard that like certain like spatial justice fellows, for instance, would have liked to stay.
Oh, I wish
they weren't offered a job.
Yeah, they're all cool, man.
I wish all spatial justice I've had so far stayed. Like, they could have definitely changed a lot of it.
And it's like they don't have enough mass to either, and they have the most job risk out of anyone.
Yeah.
And like I was being told, like they aren't even told when, like if their contract can get renewed until like the last minute and like stuff like that. It's like they're just a second thought, and it's like they're honestly the most vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like us students, we don't know how to talk like they do, but we're less vulnerable than them because we're paying to be here, you know.
Damn.
But.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sort of feels like to me it's sort of on this, like student organizations and stuff to empower spatial justice fellows. You know, make them. I don't know. Maybe that's the goal. But I'm also like 19. I don't know the thing. I don't know how to get there.
It's okay. You got this.
I'm working on it
for a couple more months.
Hey, you want to speak at NOMAS next year? Like you're some crazy like guru. Yeah. Okay, you're on a Zoom call with Steven wherever you are.
What does NOMAS mean again?
It's a National Organization of Minority Architecture Students.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah. You should come to the meetings,
Yeah, I will.
We need more grad students in there, too, like, because there's none, you know?
Yeah, bring Sean
grad students.
Yeah, come to it, yeah.
You guys are just whatever.
I'll tell you guys later, but especially next term, it'll be a very... Yeah. I think we know what to do now. We didn't for the first...
Got a game plan now.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
I think we have ideas... Getting them to work is another question, but that takes time. And once you get those, once you get it down, it's down. So be scared. Yeah. So I don't think. I'm not sure if I can talk like that.
Yeah. So we're coming to an end here, but I would like to ask you maybe if you could give some advice to. When did you transfer to college? How old were you?
18.
What would you tell an 18-year-old student like yourself that wants to come into architecture now knowing what you know?
Dude, find your mentors, and find lots of them. Don't dedicate yourself to one person, don't worship for sure, but talk to your upperclassmen, get involved in clubs, get involved in stuff outside of architecture, please. I'm a part of I'm minoring in 3PM now, which is public planning, policy, and management, and I'm also running the badminton club.
That's what's up.
Which is rough right now. I'm running organizing tournaments and and while doing studio but I'm stressed out, but I have energy to do these things because of the things I'm doing that aren't architecture, and it's like find your power, that kind of thing, but find your mentors because you've been invaluable to me. Talking to you is really cool.
Yeah.
Now I know what the target's like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's just so much you can learn. And there's so much that just needs to be said for you to learn it. And you'll know it, as soon as you hear it. But, like writing an email, right? When in high school, we're terrified to write an email. And then you realize it's not that hard.
Yeah. Wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Well, you just have to keep doing it. You have to learn how, what the words to use, this kind of thing. And it's all muscles, right? Exercise that. But
yeah.
I had a 3 p.m. teacher. I'm sorry, we're going to link to that.
No, go ahead.
But he told everyone at the beginning of class, if you ever want to have coffee with me, let me know. I'll make time in my schedule. And I think professors need to do this where, young people don't know how to approach you. Approach them. And I think, there's a certain faculty who I talked to you about who's good at this. Mm-hmm. And, I was invited to their house, and we had a very nice conversation. Had tea with this guy, and he's... Yeah, but anyways, getting coffee with someone is so easy. All you do is ask. But I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And it's making time is another thing, but if you just do it, you get so much value. These are the best things you'll ever learn. You know, just someone else's life, even if it's irrelevant to your major or anything. Just you like the person, go talk to them.
Yeah.
Like, this is cool. I mean, I've been meaning to get coffee with you, Steven, but...
Yeah, and we will.
Yeah.
We will.
Did
you like this experience?
This was great, yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we'd love to have you back.
Hopefully I didn't babble too much. I do that.
It was good.
This is what it's for.
Yeah.
Let the people know.
Is there anything else you would like to add? Any last comments?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know. I'm tired. I'm not going to lie. I've been up... I've had 2 hours of sleep in the last. I was trying to think of something like cool to say at the end there, you know, like, be scared or whatever.
Nice, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, guys, for listening. We'll see you next time.
Have a good night.
Thank you.